When I first opened the Red Cross emergency guidelines, I was stunned. Not because of what was on the list, but because of what I was missing at home. And then I realized something that shook me. Every disaster plays out the same way. People panic, rush to the stores, and within hours the shelves are wiped clean. By the time most families try to prepare, it's already too late. That's why today I'm sharing with you the 17 urgent survival items the Red Cross says every household should stock up on right now, before the next crisis exposes just how unprepared most people really are. Some of these items are things you've probably never even thought about, but they can mean the difference between comfort and chaos, or even life and death. Let's begin with the first one, water purification tablets. Now when disaster hits, everyone runs straight for bottled water. But the truth is, bottled water is gone from store shelves within hours. The smart survivors, they rely on purification tablets. Imagine something smaller than a deck of cards that can turn 25 gallons of dirty, unsafe water into pure, drinkable water. That's what these little tablets can do. What most people don't realize is that in disasters, it's not just the hurricane, earthquake, or flood that puts lives at risk. It's the dirty water that comes after. In fact, waterborne illnesses kill more people after disasters than the event itself. That's why these tablets are worth more than gold when the taps stop running. Just one pill dropped into rainwater, river water, or even swimming pool water, and in about 30 minutes, you've got safe drinking water. And here's something that might surprise you. If stored properly, these tablets can last 5 years or more, so one small purchase today can protect your family for years to come. During Hurricane Katrina, the families who had purification tablets stayed hydrated and healthy, while others suffered from dehydration and disease. These tablets are light enough to fit in every family member's emergency bag, meaning everyone has their own backup supply of safe water. Most importantly, while bottled water disappears in a day, purification tablets unlock the billions of gallons of water already around us. You go from being water dependent to water independent, and that changes everything when survival is on the line. Now on to the second essential item, powdered milk. You might not think of this as a survival tool, but experts say it's one of the most underrated emergency foods you can have. While fresh milk spoils in just a few days, powdered milk can last up to 20 years if stored properly. That means a reliable source of calcium, protein, and vitamin D long after grocery stores shut down and refrigerated trucks stop delivering. But here's the real value. Powdered milk isn't just nutrition, it's comfort. In the middle of a blackout or disaster, being able to give kids a warm glass of milk, make pancakes in the morning, or stir it into oatmeal provides a sense of normal life in a time when everything else feels out of control. 1 pound of powdered milk makes almost a gallon of milk with just water. That's not only convenient but also incredibly versatile. You can use it to thicken soups, add protein to baked goods, or even trade it with neighbors as a bartering item when supplies run short. In fact, during prolonged crises, powdered milk often becomes a high-value trade commodity. And here's a warning that nutritionists often highlight: when people go without calcium during a crisis, they suffer muscle cramps, bone weakness, and even insomnia, problems that make survival even harder. That's why powdered milk isn't just food, it's a survival strategy in disguise. Now let's move to the next life-saving essentials. Number 3 might sound simple, but without it, your entire food stockpile could be useless. A manual can opener. Think about it. You could have shelves stacked with canned goods, enough to feed your family for months. But when the power goes out, that electric opener on your counter is just a dead weight. And battery-powered ones? They'll drain your supply long before you need them most. What's left are hundreds of metal cans you can't even open. Rescue teams say they've seen it again and again, families using knives, rocks, even smashing cans against concrete just to get food. Not only does that waste precious calories, it often contaminates the food or causes serious injuries. And in an emergency, a deep cut to your hand can become life-threatening without quick medical care. That's why a sturdy manual opener is worth its weight in gold. It's light, reliable, and never fails. Military-grade models like the famous P-38 or P-51 are small enough to clip onto a keychain but tough enough to last a lifetime. The smartest survivors don't just keep one, they keep several. One in the kitchen, one in the emergency bag, one in the car, and extras for trade. Because trust me, in a long crisis, a can opener could be worth more than cash. Now number 4, rice. There's a reason this grain has been humanity's survival food for thousands of years. A single 20-pound bag holds nearly 30,000 calories. That's enough to keep one person alive for 2 solid weeks, or feed a family of 4 for several days. And here's the best part. When stored in airtight containers, white rice can last up to 30 years. That makes it one of the smartest long-term survival investments you can make. Rice is not just filling. It's versatile and easy on the stomach. It's naturally gluten-free, provides essential B vitamins, and can be cooked in countless ways. Boil it, steam it, fry it, or if fuel is scarce, even soak it in cold water until it softens enough to eat. And don't throw out the rice water. That starchy liquid can rehydrate someone suffering from dehydration or diarrhea, something that can literally save lives when doctors aren't available. But here's a mistake many people make: stocking brown rice. While it's more nutritious, the oils inside cause it to spoil in less than 6 months. White rice, on the other hand, can last for decades, which is why experts recommend storing at least 50 pounds per person. It's not just food, it's a foundation for survival. That brings us to number 5, batteries. When the grid goes down, batteries become the thin line between modern life and complete darkness. And it's not just about having light, it's about safety, sanity, and survival. Darkness in a crisis is terrifying. It makes every task harder, increases accidents, and causes panic, especially in children. A simple battery-powered LED light can turn that fear into calm, giving weeks of illumination from just one set of batteries. But not all batteries are equal. Lithium batteries can last 10 to 15 years in storage, while alkalines hold for about 5 to 7 years. That difference matters when you're stocking up years in advance. And it's not just about flashlights. Radios for emergency broadcasts, medical devices like glucose monitors or hearing aids, these all rely on batteries. If you run out, a manageable situation can quickly turn into a life or death emergency. The smartest preppers take inventory of every device in their home and keep at least 3 times the number of batteries needed. And here's another survival truth: batteries become one of the hottest barter items during long blackouts. People will trade food, supplies, even tools, for a few packs of AA batteries. If you have extras, you won't just have light, you'll have power in more ways than one. Number 6 is one of the most overlooked but most critical parts of survival: first aid supplies and prescription medications. Here's a reality that shocks a lot of people: most injuries that are minor in normal times can turn deadly in a disaster. A small cut, a twisted ankle, or even a fever that would normally be handled with a quick trip to the pharmacy can spiral into something life-threatening when doctors, medicine, and clean hospitals are no longer available. That's why your first aid kit should be more than just a few bandages. Think of it as a miniature emergency room. Stock it with sterile gauze, trauma shears, thermometers, surgical tape, and antibiotic ointments. Add pain relievers, fever reducers, antihistamines for allergies, and anti-diarrheal medication to prevent dangerous dehydration. Each one of these items could mean the difference between recovery and tragedy. But what about prescription medications? That's where planning becomes urgent. For people who depend on insulin, heart medication, antidepressants, or any other life-sustaining drug, there is simply no substitute. Experts recommend trying to maintain at least a 90-day rotating supply, always using the oldest stock first. It takes some conversations with your doctor, but many physicians are willing to help if you present them with a serious preparedness plan. And here's something most people forget: knowledge is just as important as supplies. A waterproof first aid manual, and even basic training in CPR or wound care, could turn your supplies into real life-saving tools when internet and emergency services are gone. In a crisis, your knowledge is your greatest medicine. Now let's move on to number 7, peanut butter. It might sound simple, but this jar is almost a miracle food in survival situations. Packed with protein, healthy fats, and over 6,000 calories in a single container, peanut butter can keep an adult alive for 3 whole days if needed. And unlike meat or dairy, it doesn't need refrigeration, cooking, or water. You just open the jar and eat. But peanut butter's power isn't just physical, it's psychological. In the middle of fear and chaos, familiar foods bring comfort. A spoonful of peanut butter can lift morale, calm nerves, and encourage kids to eat when they might otherwise refuse survival rations. It turns plain rice, oatmeal or crackers into meals that feel normal again. And here's the kicker, unopened jars can last years beyond their expiration date, and even open jars remain safe for months without refrigeration. That makes peanut butter not only a survival food but also a storage-friendly powerhouse. Smart families spread jars across different storage locations, one in the pantry, one in the emergency bag, one in the car because you never know which stash you'll need to grab. Now on to number 8, dried beans and legumes. If rice is the king of survival grains, beans are its perfect partner. For thousands of years, beans and rice together have sustained entire civilizations through famines and wars. Why? Because when combined, they create a complete protein, the kind your body needs to stay strong when meat is no longer an option. A single pound of dried beans expands into 6 cups when cooked, meaning they stretch your food supply far. They're packed with fiber, which keeps your digestive system running smoothly when your diet is limited. They're loaded with iron to prevent anemia, folate to keep your immune system strong, and slow-release carbs that provide steady energy instead of sugar spikes that worsen stress and anxiety. And here's the incredible part. While most canned goods eventually expire, properly stored dried beans can last for decades. In fact, many experts say they actually get better with age, cooking faster and digesting easier the older they get. That means the beans you buy today could still be saving your family's life 20 years from now. The smartest preppers stock a wide variety: black beans, lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, not just for nutrition but to prevent appetite fatigue. Because trust me, after weeks of eating the same thing, variety isn't a luxury, it's survival. Number 9. Flashlights and candles. When disaster strikes, the darkness isn't just inconvenient, it's terrifying. Imagine your entire neighborhood swallowed in silence and blackness. No streetlights, no glow from the city, just endless dark. That's when light becomes more than a luxury, it becomes a lifeline. Modern LED flashlights have completely changed the game. A single set of batteries can now give you hundreds of hours of bright light. But here's the catch. If you rely only on batteries, eventually they run out. That's why candles remain just as important today as they were for our grandparents. They never need charging, they last indefinitely in storage, and in many cases they can burn for days at a time. Light in a crisis does more than let you see. It keeps you safe from falls and injuries. It lets you keep working after sunset, when every hour matters. It even protects your mind. Extended darkness throws off your body's natural rhythm, leading to confusion, depression, and exhaustion. For children, the glow of a flashlight or a candle can transform pure terror into calm. But not all lights are created equal. Headlamps give you hands-free lighting for repairs or cooking. Lanterns can brighten an entire room, allowing families to gather together at night. Tactical flashlights double as self-defense tools with powerful strobe functions. Even glow sticks have a role: safe light when you're around flammable materials. In a true emergency, each option has its moment. And when it comes to candles, choosing the right kind matters more than most people realize. Beeswax and soy candles burn longer and cleaner than cheap paraffin, reducing smoke and indoor air pollution when windows can't be opened. Jar candles reduce fire risks, while tea lights allow you to control fuel use by burning small portions at a time. And survival-grade candles, some burn for over 100 hours. That's weeks of light from a single candle. Now let's move to number 10, nuts and seeds. Packed into tiny packages, they're one of the most powerful survival foods on Earth. A single ounce of almonds contains as much protein as an egg, and unlike eggs, they don't need refrigeration. That combination of nutrition and shelf life makes nuts and seeds a survival essential. They're not just fuel for the body, they're fuel for survival itself. The healthy fats in nuts help regulate hormones, which is crucial when your body is under extreme stress. They also help absorb fat-soluble vitamins from other foods, making every calorie count. Omega-3s in walnuts and flax seeds reduce inflammation and sharpen mental clarity, something you desperately need when decisions mean life or death. And the mineral profile of nuts is unmatched. Selenium from Brazil nuts strengthens immunity. Magnesium in pumpkin seeds prevents painful muscle cramps. Zinc in cashews speeds wound healing. During history's greatest famines, it was deficiencies like these that killed millions. With nuts you can prevent those same hidden killers. Practicality makes them even better. No water, no cooking, no preparation, just open and eat.